Hey, you gonna have to get on up out of here. I'm about to go live, girl. Can you come and close the door, please? I am late. Sorry, man. I had to parent there for a minute.
Oh, you're good.
All right. All right. I got to take this off of only me. See that I would have already had this set up, but it times out. So live interview with Nelson Tressler. Author of the yeah, I'm late for my first show back. Unlucky Sperm Club. All right, here we go, man. Let's do this. Well, you know, this is going to be a great show. I can just tell you that right now. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Did you guys miss me? This is CL King coming to you live from the High Definition Studios here in Jacksonville, North Carolina. I've been gone for 30 days, y'all. No, 31 days in January. And I just missed my audience so much that I said, you know what? I've got to come back. You know, they were saying, do you need a little more time off? Greg was offering me 6 weeks paid vacation. I said, no, I got to come back. I need to talk to my audience. I've missed you guys. Happy New Year, everyone. And Impacting Life 24/7 is back in full force. So you need to go ahead and mark your calendars now. Monday night, Tuesday night, and Thursday night at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. And we are so thankful that all of my IL247ers out there have remained loyal and faithful and checked up on me to make sure that I still had a pulse while I was away. And so, you know, I was gathering so much in the interim of my time off. And one of the things that I was able to do was gather some new friends, gather some new comrades, gather some new, more than just associates. Man, I'm like flicking off the associates, y'all. The folks that just want to hang out from, you know, the 90,000 foot level. Then I've been able to amass around our nucleus, our network, people that are truly interested in saying, hey, let's hold hands, let's join forces and go forward and make an impact. So that's why I came back. We came back because we have, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, I've been looking forward to this guest since the moment I saw him connect with me on social media. And it was some time ago, many weeks ago. Well, this gentleman here, his name, I'm not even going to tell you his name because I want to keep you in suspense. This gentleman has so much to offer tonight. We really are doing him a disservice by only having one show. We should have done a 2-part series to have him on because he's going to bring such a wealth of information. He is Nelson Tressler, and he's the founder of I Got Smarter, which is a goal achievement tool that has an app associated with it that he created. He's also a gentleman that has sold over $1 billion in commercial real estate. We're going to talk about his successes. We're going to hear how he's done it, how he's been in the grind. This man has really put the work in, and God has blessed him for it. And then he's also the author of the Unlucky Sperm Club. Now, I know you guys have been seeing me promote that book. And hey, right here in the studios with me, I have my very own copy. And, you know, we might do something if Nelson's feeling thrifty tonight. We might do something and put you in for a drawing to get a free copy of the Unlucky Sperm Club. But this book is a depiction of a man's life that went through a whole host of twists and turns. And The subtitle of this book is "You Are Not a Victim of Your Circumstances, but a Product of Your Choices." And I'm bringing to you the one, the only, ladies and gentlemen, founder of I Got Smarter, my friend and brother, Nelson Tressler. Welcome, Nelson.
Hey, thanks for having me on, CL. I really appreciate it.
Man, can you believe we're finally doing this, brother?
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it is that people think, well, maybe this is their first or second time. We actually already did an interview, but it was only supposed to go 30 minutes, and it wound up going an hour.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was to see if we had anything to talk about, and we couldn't stop talking.
Yeah, and so Nelson, this is my first show back, and I need to connect with everybody because I know all of those all those IL 247ers, the Impacting Life 247 Club is definitely wanting to connect with us tonight, and people are saying, "Hey, welcome back," and I want you guys to know that my guest is Nelson Tressler, and he is the founder of I Got Smarter. And I want you guys to stay with us for the entire show. Some of y'all be coming in my show and then you be bouncing out and you be making me mad. Okay. I want you to stay with us the entire show. The reason why I want you to stay with us the entire show is because we're working the show backwards. Okay, we're not working the show like we typically do, where you hear a certain particular rudiment or rhythm to the show. We're actually starting for all the stuff that you're like, okay, why is he? I want you to stay with me because we're working the show backwards today. It's almost like starting church and having the altar call first. So, Nelson, thank you so much for spending time with me and our audience here at Impacting Life 24/7. We're going to get right to it because we got a lot to cover. And so, just what we want to do initially is tell people how they can contact you. I want people to connect with you immediately. And what would be the greatest source of contact for you?
Yeah, I mean, you can go to nelsontressler.com, and there you can find everything. You can find the book, The Unlucky Sperm Club. You can find a link to I Got Smarter and the app. So that's probably the easiest way to find me.
Yeah, and you know what? I've already scoped out all of his sites and everything. He has a whole lot of other peripheral things, as associated sites, but that's the main one that you want to go to. I want everybody to hear it again: nelsontressler.com, and how you spell that is Tressler, right?
Yep.
All right. So here we are, Nelson. I feel like it's a divine thing that you and I came together because you and I have very, very similar stories. But actually, it's funny because it's something when you meet someone with a more dynamic story than yours. You're like, I thought I had it bad till I met you. But we're not going to start there. We're going to start with right where we introduced you about the I Got Smarter. Nelson has created an app, ladies and gentlemen, that is a goal setting app, and it is my lifeblood. It is my heartbeat, to help people find their pathway in life. So, Nelson, why don't you tell us a little bit about I Got Smarter and how that all came to pass?
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been a goal guy, my entire adult life. I've really designed my entire life through goals and personal development. And what I realized, after 20 years of doing that and gaining, more success than I ever thought possible, I traced it all back to, one goal. And, I realized that if I could do the things that I've done, what else could I do if I really focused on it and really, got in and dug about goals and how it worked and how I could plan it. And so for the last 20 years, I've been really working on this program and using it in my life. And I've used it to, become the top salesman worldwide for a top 5 commercial real estate firm. I've used it, to be married to my best friend for 25 years. I just celebrated my 25th wedding anniversary. I've used it to run marathons and bike 100 miles. I mean, goals, everything starts with a goal. And I've realized that. And I've seen that there's been so many people out there that they're 1 or 2 or 3 choices away from living that life that they want to live. and goals will get them there. And it's, you have to know what you want before you can get it. So, our program does a self-assessment. It shows you, it shows you how to get to exactly what you want. And then it really shows you how to get there and how to break it down and all of that. And then the app just makes it very simple. We start every morning with a morning ritual. It populates our task list, and we know exactly what we need to do to accomplish our goal. And then at night we have a reflection. So I just see the power of it. I see how it changes lives. As I'm sitting here, my life is totally drastically changed, as we'll get into, as we get through the show. But, goals don't just change the person's life who accomplishes them. It changes the generations. It changes everybody who's close to it. And because I was able to accomplish that first big goal, now my kids are living a drastically different life because of one goal.
Wow. See, now this is what I told you, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I should have this guy on. I'm just going to book him for another show automatically. Here's the reality. We cannot, and I'm so glad everybody's back. Somebody just said on our live feed, they said, I got to have both of these people on. She says, oh, I cannot wait to have you both on my show. See, there you go, brother. Just like that. Here's the reality, man. When I set goals up in my life, even though some of them may be long, some of them may be difficult, some of them may be arduous. When I know that, where I'm going, I am so much more fulfilled than when I live my life kind of haphazardly. So you've taken your life's journey and put this into a tool that helps other people get kind of aligned themselves, huh?
Yeah. And I mean, I think we're all like that. If we're working towards a goal that we know where we want to be, that's where life fulfillment comes in. But if we're just kind of going with the flow and we're not living our life with purpose, that's when we get depressed, because we're not shooting for anything. We're not reaching, we're not becoming the best versions of ourselves. And that's what goals do. That's what the I and I Got Smarter stands for, is that we're working on that individual that's staring back at us in the mirror. We're always striving to become that best version of ourselves, because before you achieve a goal, you have to become that person that can achieve that goal. So then at the very forefront of I Got Smarter is we're working on making that person that's looking back at us in the mirror every day that best version that we possibly can.
Yeah. So, like Michael Jackson saying in the mirror years ago,
Man in the mirror.
right? Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes maybe what we do with goals is we focus on the goal,
Yeah.
the element, but we don't focus on the person. You hear what he said, ladies and gentlemen? It started with the I. I'm talking with Nelson Tressler, for those of you swinging on by to Impacting Life 24/7 with your host, CL King. Nelson Tressler, who is the founder of I Got Smarter. He has created an app, ladies and gentlemen, that is amazing. And it's a goal setting architecture, and it helps people realize, hey, listen, in the I and the I Got Smarter, it starts with us. Now, are you saying, Nelson, that is really the foundational element that people need to examine, is themselves first?
It's everything. I mean, it's everything, because we're working on becoming that type of person that can achieve those goals. As I said here today, I'm a drastically different person than I was 20 years ago.
Right.
I couldn't achieve the goals that I've achieved without becoming that better version of myself. And that's the awesome thing, is once you show somebody what potential lies within them, and they see what they're capable of doing, they'll never be the same. They'll never be willing to settle for that type of life again, once they realize what type of potential lies within them. And that's the key, is to see that and then understand that you have that ability in you. All you have to do is the work, and you got to be patient, because it doesn't happen overnight. Everybody wants this overnight success. And that's when I wrote the book, The Unlucky Sperm Club. that's what I've done. I pulled back the curtain for people to realize, where I came from and where I ended up. And it was not a cakewalk. And I think when people see somebody who's had some sort of success, they either think it was overnight or they think it was always easy.
And,
And
and I think
I'm telling you, it's almost never the case.
and I think you talked about this too. That some people assume that that success is handed down to you, and that's not real success. And you're big on accountability, though, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I mean that's another thing in our app. I Got Smarter is we allow you to invite a success partner through the app, which a lot of people call it an accountability partner. We don't, because accountability kind of gets that bad rap. You envision that high school football coach screaming at you,
Right.
but you know what? We're not accountable to anybody else for our dreams or our goals. I mean, that's another thing. They have to be your dreams and your goals. We're accountable to ourselves. And what our success partners do is they encourage us, they motivate us to do the things that we said we were going to do. And we're accountable to ourselves. And that's what that success partner does. And you have a 95% more likelihood of actually achieving your goals if there's somebody else in the trenches with you, encouraging and helping you. And that's why we find it so important. And in our app, you can communicate real time. So if I do my morning ritual, CL, and we're partners, you'll see, hey, Nelson just checked off his morning ritual. Now you can say, oh, kudos, Nels, but I got to get mine done. So now you're going in and you're seeing that I've done it. Now you're going to do it. Or maybe it comes to 11:30 and I haven't done my morning ritual yet. You can say, hey, Nelson, let's get that day planned, man. It's, you're going to have an awesome day. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, CL. Let me get on it. So it's just that thing. And you're just so much more likely to do that as opposed to a man on an island all by yourself. And you're like, yeah, this happened, so I'm not going to do it. So
Right.
we find accountability huge.
Yeah, and listen, those of you that have just swung by to Impacting Life 24/7, I wanted to let you know that we are back in the studios live here with my friend and comrade, the great Mr. Nelson Tressler. You can find him at nelsontressler.com. I want everybody to go there now and just stalk his page, check him out, see what he's got going on. Because I'm telling you what, he is helping people who are disheveled find shovelment, if that's even a word. He is helping people utilizing the tools that he's used for the past 20 years. He finally put it all together. We were all waiting. He finally put it together in a palatable program, and it's so good that he developed it into an app, and that is called I Got Smarter. And so one of the things that drew me to Nelson was his story. But after we talked, what also drew me to him was his passion for achieving goals. And this goal setting tool, I really do feel like is important. Now, Nelson, if somebody wants to connect with you relative to the I Got Smarter program, and they want to get in, how is an entry? How does a person enter into that? What do they do?
Yeah, I mean, it's on the App Store. It's on Apple and Android, and you can go there and type in I Got Smarter. It's one word. And in fact, we're giving away 30 free days so that you can try it and make sure that it's a great fit for you. And in fact, we're having a free goal workshop this Saturday, and we're going to be going through the app and going through the principles and the self-assessment and all of that for free this Saturday. I think it's 10 o'clock Pacific time.
Is that going to be a virtual thing?
Yeah, it's a virtual. It'll be through Zoom, uh, and we'll go through all the stuff that's found in the app and the philosophies and the strategies. And it's a great workshop. We've done it. We've done it before, and people start looking at goals totally different and realize why we do the things that we do and the importance and how it's working with our minds and seeing goals through to the end. So it's a great tool, and it's free.
Stop, ladies and gentlemen, stop. All of you out there, I know you guys are scrolling, and I know you're thinking about what you're going to have for dinner, or is it too late to be eating dinner? But here's what I want to tell you. This man, Nelson Tressler, the founder of I Got Smarter, the goal setting app, which is absolutely amazing, walks you through, giving you 30 free days to try it, to see, man, can I get my life in? How many people out there that are watching me can truly say, man, I could use some assistance and a partner. He said he didn't call it accountability. What did you call it?
A success partner.
A success partner. Man, I love that. I kind of don't like the accountability partner name no more. I want somebody to be down with me as a success partner and let our success grow together. So I want you to go to NelsonTressler.com, or you can look him up on social media. He's really, listen, I know y'all saw my write up on him, but I was trying to be somewhat modest, but he is in demand, ladies and gentlemen. He's on dozens and dozens of shows, making multiple appearances a week, and even just launched his own show. So we are very, very privileged to kick back off 2021 with a man of this caliber. So Nelson, I'm really appreciative of it, and I see people commenting all across the country and around the world. Hello, TJ. Hello, Michelle. Hello, my goodness, Mike. Hello, Greg. Chris, DT. Chris, we're going to hook up together. Hello, Sherry, Abigail. So people, Dr. Dunlap, great to see you. A success partner. That's right. Dr. Dunlap says that's good language right there. And Dr. Dunlap helps us with, and he has his own institute, but language is important. And that is more palatable to me than an accountability partner. I love it. So you see there's one step. Now we're going to work ourselves back just a little bit, and we're going to dive into you. You've been a philanthropist, you've been a business owner, you've started businesses, and you've crushed it in the real estate industry. Tell us about that whole experience and what that was like, and how and what your success is.
Yeah, I mean, after I got out of college and got that, I started, like I said, to use goals, and I went into commercial real estate. I didn't even know what commercial real estate was. I needed an internship to graduate from college, and I ran out of options because I didn't realize I needed an internship. And eventually, I got hired by somebody, and at the end of my internship, I was going to be a stockbroker. I have a finance degree, and the guy's like, dude, you need to stay in this business. And I saw, what he was doing. And so I got into that. And over the last 20 years, I became the top salesman worldwide for a top 5 commercial real estate firm in the retail division several times. Been the top producing team in Las Vegas for the last 20 years in a row.
Wow. And so you had some pretty big commercial deals go through, huh?
Yeah, I've closed $1 billion worth of commercial real estate deals over the last 20 years.
Now, we were talking off air, ladies and gentlemen. You heard him right. He said $1 billion. And I told him the next billion that I want to know is when he becomes a billionaire, is he going to hook up his brother on Impact Your Life 24/7? And Nelson says,
absolutely. I'll hook you up. As soon as I become a billionaire, you'll be my first call, buddy.
So I got him. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. So we don't need any more sponsors. We got Nelson. But now, how was that environment for you in terms of that whole commercial real estate? I mean, was it cutthroat? Is it like some of the things that we hear? What was it like for you?
You know what? I think there's a lot of competition out there in every industry, and in sales, there's always competition. But I had my little niche, and I never worried about the money. I think that's one thing that I would stress to everybody is the money always takes care of itself. When you set out to help people and to really help them, cut the best deal or whatever you're working at, the money always takes care of itself. I mean, I was so superstitious. I would never figure out what my fee was going to be because I never wanted it to be about the fee. I always wanted it to be about the person that I was helping, or the landlord that I was helping, or the owner. And it always worked because the money wasn't in the back of my mind. It was, okay, I need to help this guy get into this space. I need to help this guy sell this shopping center. I need to help this guy buy one. And it was always about making the best deal for my client. And I think because of that, I approached everything with that mindset of helping those people.
Wow. See, and this is why I had him on the show, ladies and gentlemen. He approached, working in amassing $1 billion in sales, but he approached it as the individual. Each individual was important to him and important to you. And I think that's important. I think that's an important message because I I champion success, and I know Nelson does, and that's why I wanted him to. He didn't want to tell his story, but I wanted him to tell his story. But the truth of the matter is that if you do people right, everything else will take care of itself. And I'm a testament to that. And as you can see with my guest Nelson Tressler at nelsontressler.com, you know that he's been taken care of as well. And so now, did you started some other businesses though after you got out of that?
Yeah, so I mean, through commercial real estate, you're exposed to a lot of different businesses and tenants in your shopping centers and things like that. So I've started more than 10 businesses. I started a chain of children's daycare centers here in Las Vegas. Also started a chain of pet resorts and built that out to be one of the largest privately owned pet resorts in the country. Had my hand in, right now we've got a couple of family fun centers here in Las Vegas, which are trampoline parks and laser tag and all of that. So I've had that and other things. I mean, I've had at tanning salons and rock yards and I love commercial real estate development. So we've got some shopping centers that we own. So yeah, I mean, I have the entrepreneurial bug. I can pretty much, uh, went through the list. Every time I would see something, I would see the opportunity there, and
Right.
I was never afraid to go for it. And because of that, I think I got involved with a lot of things.
So let me ask you this, because now let's talk about the other part of this equation, because sometimes people see like what you've done and the great work that you've done and the wealth that you've built and all that kind of stuff, and like you said, they want that, or their perception is, man, this is an instant overnight success. Now, so I want you to speak to some of my listeners who maybe are frustrated because they've tried their hand in a few things. I've got a lot of entrepreneurs that watch this show, and some of them are just like, man, I'm not getting anywhere off the ground. What would you say to those folks that that are kind of stuck in the rut, and they want success, but it's just not materializing?
Yeah, I mean, I think success is a patience thing. I mean, I think we live in this world where we look on social media, and these guys are outside of their jets and they're 22 years old, and you're
Right.
like, oh man, I mean, I want that kind of success, but I don't see it like that. I mean, I think there's people out there who have done that and been able to do that, but I think more of us are that long haul is like building, becoming that type of person that can have that success. And, depending where you're at and how hard you're working for it. I mean, I talk to my son all the time, he's like, oh, dad, I'm going to play in the major leagues. And, he's playing his video game. And I'm saying, you know what? What does somebody who's 27 years old and playing on a major league baseball team do when he's 15 years old? Is he playing a video game, or is he out there, in the batting cage or doing something like that?
Reps
So,
it, yeah.
yeah, I mean, we need to be doing those things that will get us successful, and we need to do those more often than we don't. And whatever that is it gaining the knowledge that you need? Is it, making the contacts that you need? We need to be working. Soon after becoming a dreamer, you have to become a doer. And I think there's a lot of dreamers out there, but they forget about the doing part. And it's a lot of hard work to get to where, your dreams are. And you got to be willing to do that.
Wow, that's powerful. See, again, I asked him to drop these golden nuggets off, so we'll make sure that we increase his pay for the night. And talking about the long haul, we're thankful for people who have joined with Impact Life 24/7 in the long haul. We've got some sponsors that I just have to take a moment to recognize. We've got, of course, the VP, Gregory Smith, one of our gold sponsors. He's also the author of 100 Ways to Manage Your Property and Evidence Room. You can get a copy by reaching out to Gregory Smith online, or get him at, you can email him because he still likes to email, smithg1963@yahoo.com. Also, one of our other gold sponsors is Michelle Perry. She's the founder of Successful Diligence LLC, and she's also the host of the Successful Diligence podcast. I think you've been on there too, right? Were you on her show?
Yeah, I think I was. Yeah.
Yeah, I was on her show too just recently. She's going to be our guest tomorrow. She's a best-selling author of The Pebble in My Shoe. And you can connect with Michelle and get a copy of her book at successfuldiligence.com. Just two more. Adrienne Baker is another one of our new gold sponsors. She's the host of the Barker Speaks podcast, Adrienne Barker Speaks podcast. She's also a life coach, CEO of a professional global etiquette company. And I want you to connect with her at professionalglobaletiquette.com. And then our last gold sponsor is the CL King Group Incorporated. These are people that are, and these are entities, as you say, Nelson, it is the long haul. You know, nobody's cut us a check for $1 million, but people, the 5 and the 1 and the 10, man, that is what we're focused on. I've been at this now for, Lord, professionally speaking, about 13 years. And I'm just like, that moment's going to come. But I told Greg, I said, man, we might not have that viral moment where, Ellen DeGeneres wants us on her show overnight. But we are going to continue to grind this thing out day in and day out. And we appreciate it at the end. I think that's kind of what your message is to people, man. You got to be consistent. You got to become a dreamer. Then you got to be a doer, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I always think of that guy, the story of the guy who had the gold mine in Colorado, and he came out and he dug for 6 months and he didn't hit anything and he quit and he's like, screw it, I'm headed back to New York, and he sold his mine. And the next guy came in there and started to dig and dug for 3 feet and hit the largest, gold strike in Colorado history. And I think there are so many people out there that they give it a go. They try for, a month or maybe even a year. And then all of a sudden, when it doesn't, materialize the way that they think, they throw their hands up and they quit. And they're probably so close to, some amount of success that would keep them going, or that big strike. And I've had that in so many times in the businesses that I've been in, and in the business that I'm in right now. I mean, this is a new business for me. I mean, I've never been, digital and created an app and a program and have to be on social media and do all that. Never done it. So I'm learning too, and there's frustrating days. I mean, everybody has them. No matter who you're looking at, Ellen DeGeneres has stressful days. Oprah has stressful days. But, the difference between them and most people, they keep going. They don't quit. And there's so many people out there that throw up their hands and give up. I mean, the only way that you really can fail is when you quit. And that's what the I Got Smarter app does. Is it gives you all the tools, the knowledge, and especially the support to actually see your goals through to the end.
That's powerful. Dr. Nate Dunlap says consistently plowing, and he says he's been plowing with his PRF Institute, his nonprofit organization, for over 12 years, and he says it's about to explode, but he's been consistent, and so that's very, very important. And thank you, Dr. Dunlap, for those words. And so, those of you that just swooned on by in our live audience, and of course, those listening to Impact Life 24/7, I have in my virtual studios with me my guest and my new brother and friend, long-term friend now, Nelson Tressler. And he is the author of The Unlucky Sperm Club. He's also the founder of I Got Smarter, a goal achievement or architecture and an app associated with it that he created. And he's also been very, very successful in the entrepreneurial world, commercial real estate, over $1 billion in sales, top performer in all arenas. And so when our paths crossed, it really was, I felt like a hand of God, because our stories, now they've heard all the great things, right, Nelson? I mean, they've heard, man, this dude is crushing. He's probably driving a Mercedes, or no, because he don't drive Mercedes, right? You said never would.
No.
But they hear all the stories, and that's why I wanted to do the show backwards tonight, because that's why I wanted you to stay with us. I want you to hear the next phase that we're going to go into, and it really is kind of like the hallmark of this man's life. And it's in this book. It's found in this book called The Unlucky Sperm Club. And he wrote this book, and it's a depiction of some very, very tragic and adverse twists and turns in his life. And I've been blessed to get a copy of it. I want you to get a copy of it, and you can get that at nelsontressler.com. But Nelson, I want you to tell us, man, and we've got time. I just want you to tell us what, because we're going backwards now. What was it that caused you to, what spurred the writing of this book? What spurred the writing of this book?
Yeah, I mean, I was able to exit a few of those businesses we talked about, and I just got to the the point of my life where what did I want to do with the rest of my life? And I'm not one to, pop my feet up and watch the waves crash for the rest of my life. And I'd been so blessed in my life. And I wanted to leave a legacy. I wanted to make the world a better place. And for the longest time, the last 20 years or so, it was all about, me. It was about me succeeding and building businesses and, definitely trying to help people do that. But, it wasn't as rewarding as really changing people's lives that I saw struggling, that I knew there was a way that, they could be living drastically different lives. And I'd helped a lot of people with goals and personal development that were just associates of mine and friends. And so, I'm like, that's what I need to do. And, I had lived a pretty unique life, and no one really knew about that life. It weakened me. I didn't want to tell that story. I didn't want anybody to know about it, when I moved away from my small town. And then I started to reflect upon, hey, I lived this life for a reason. I've done this. I've been through it. I've made it out of it. And then I started to think, you know what? You live this for a reason so that you could motivate and inspire others who are also in a tough circumstances to realize that they're not a victim of their circumstances, that they're a product of their choices. And then that's when I set out and started to write the program. I got smarter, and then eventually, I wanted to tell my story so people knew that it just wasn't a program about goals. It was something that somebody had come from, pretty rough, a pretty rough start,
Right.
and used it in their lives to actually live a life they couldn't have even imagined.
So as we have said, my guest Nelson Tressler, you can find him at nelsontressler.com. You can find him all over social media. I really had to jump on his schedule quick because there I see his schedule because we're a part of some of the same associations, and there's literally hundreds of people reaching out to him all the time, asking them to be on on their platforms because of his dynamic story, his powerful delivery, and also his story of overcoming the adversity. So he wrote this book. It's called The Unlucky Sperm Club, and it's by Nelson Tressler. And the subtopic is you are not a victim of your circumstances, but a product of your choices. And so, Nelson, there was I know you wrote the book, and I know why you wrote the book, but I would like for you, in the degree that you would like to, I'd like for you to peel back just a little bit of the veil that's in this book, and what was the story that got you to this
Sure.
book?
Yeah. So my mom became pregnant with me when she was 15 years old. And, my mom was one of 15 children. Her father was the local trash collector in a small town in central Pennsylvania. And while my mom was pregnant with me, her father drove into the town square. There, he spotted two police officers. He stuck a gun out the window and opened fire on those police officers, killing one and critically wounding another. And eventually, my grandfather was captured and brought to stand trial where he was facing the death penalty for what he had done. And during his trial, my mom got up and testified to the jury that the reason that her father had shot and killed that police officer was that the police officer had raped her, and she was now pregnant with his baby, who was me. And my mom's testimony worked. My grandfather's first trial ended in a hung jury. Eventually, my grandfather was tried again, where the state took the death penalty off of the table. He was eventually found guilty and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, where he ended up spending the rest of his life, more than 40 years behind bars, leaving behind in this small town, his 15 children, his wife, and now me to kind of deal with the consequences of that. And I mean, if you can believe it or not, my life didn't get, any easier from that point.
Right. I was thinking about how you were born. You were definitely in the unlucky club, and man, what a tragedy to be born into. But it's like, okay, you were born, and maybe things could get better, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, if any of you guys have ever lived in a small town, one, everybody, is up in your business, and
Right.
they know everything about you. So I had to deal with that. But again, I'm born to a 15-year-old mother. My mom's dropped out of school in the 8th grade, no education. But eventually, when she's 21, she finds a man who would eventually become my stepfather, and come to find out that he was an alcoholic and very physically and emotionally abusive to me and my mom almost daily. And, eventually they have 4 more children together in quick succession. And because of the lifestyle that they're living, a lot of the basic needs for my siblings fall upon me as the oldest, diaper changing, bottle feeding, waking up at 2 a.m. to put crying babies back. And because of this, my social life and school life is a huge struggle. And I remember, in elementary school, you always want to know who your next year's homeroom teacher is, so you know who you have and if your buddies are going to be with you. And I remember in the 4th grade looking down at my report card and seeing that I had straight Fs and that I wouldn't be going on to the 5th grade. I flunked the 4th grade and would be held back. And I couldn't read, I couldn't write, I couldn't spell. I think I missed 40 or 50 days of school that year. And come to find out, I had dyslexia. They placed me into special ed the next year, and that's kind of where my life was going for a while. And then one day, my stepfather was walking home drunk from a bar, and there was somebody else driving home drunk from that bar. And they ended up coming around a corner and hitting and killing my stepfather.
Mm.
And as hard as my mom's life has been to this point, and it's been very brutal. Like I said, she's dropped out of school in the 8th grade. She's never worked outside of the home. And here she is with 5 young children. My mom could not figure out how she was going to make it work. And it was at that time that she decided that she was going to take her own life. And she attempted suicide. And fortunately, she was not successful in her attempt. But when she got out of the hospital, it was then that she determined that she wasn't going to be able to care for all of us. And that's when our family got split up. And I went to go live with my grandmother, who was the wife of the man who shot and killed the police officer. And that's when my life kind of took a turn.
Mm. Wow. There was mom couldn't handle you anymore, and all the siblings got split up.
Yeah, so my baby sister, who was 6 months at the time of my mom's suicide attempt, went to go live with one of my aunts, and then the 3 boys, my 3 brothers, they ended up going back with my mom, and my mom ended up raising them.
Okay. So life with grandma was better.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for the first time in my life, and here's my gram, she has 15 kids. Some of those kids are still living at home. And because of the saint that my gram is, she's raising 4 or 5 or 6 other grandchildren in
Right.
this small, 3-bedroom house. I don't know what the world would do without grandparents.
That's right.
You
That's right.
know,
They're the coolest.
yeah, they are. But for the first time in my life, there's always food, which was not the case. The lights always turned on when you hit the switch, which was not the case. There was always heat. And, I didn't have to worry about caring for my siblings, and I didn't have to worry about my stepdad coming home drunk and beating me or my mom. So I started to kind of reflect upon where my life was heading and what direction it was going. And I kind of saw where I was heading, and I didn't like it. And then one day a counselor from a college came in, and they talked about what it would take to get into college. And for the first time in my life, I started to think, what if I could graduate college? And I looked at it like, holy cow, if I could get a college degree, the rest of my life would be easy.
Right.
And, and that was my mindset back then. And anyhow, I set, I told myself I'm going to do it. And then, what happens whenever you tell yourself you're going to try something hard. That voice in the back of your head just starts screaming at you
Right.
all the reasons you shouldn't even try it. And I remember, thinking, Nelson, you're in special ed. You can't read, you can't write, you can't spell. Of the family that I came from, of those 15 brothers and sisters my mom had, only two had ever graduated from high school. None had ever even gone to a college. But, I had nothing to lose. So I started to go for it. And, long story short, it took me 12 years. It took me 4 different universities. It took me 4 years in the United States Air Force, but eventually I became that first person in my family to get that college degree.
Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. If I was allowed to use my applause button, I would do it, man. That is noteworthy, Nelson. And because of man, obviously the hand of God, but also he put something in you that said, man, that little spark that says, what if I could graduate from college? I think you graduated from UNLV, right?
Yeah, I did. I finally got my degree in 2000.
The Running Rebels. I remember UNLV, the Running Rebels, way back in the days, man.
Arcanian, right?
Yeah, man, that was some
Doing
good.
on the towel.
Yes, man. I was in the group home when UNLV was going buck wild back in the days, the Running
Yeah.
Rebels. Yeah. So man, this is so that was kind of like the nexus, thank God for grandparents. And that actually started the ball rolling towards going in the right direction. You had a negative velocity went from birth up until that point. And listen, man, I'm gonna try not to get emotional because I'm the emotional one in the family here, y'all. But this man had dyslexia. He had an abusive parents, and all different sides. He had murder he was introduced into, rape that was introduced into his life. That's the way he came on the scene. Flunked all the fourth or fifth grade and everything else that was going against him. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't pretty, but no matter the circumstance, that I've told you guys this, no matter the adversity, you you still can make it. And I'm telling you about the gentleman's name, gentleman Nelson Tressler. He is the author. That's where that story can be found. You got to get the book to find out the rest of the story. But you can get his book at nelsontressler.com, and the book is called The Unlucky Sperm Club. You are not a victim of your circumstances, but a product of your choices. And I really love that last part because Nelson, years ago, Greg and I out on the trail back when we thought we were some highfalutin speakers. I had this program called The Choice Is Yours, and that was the title of the program. Bring me to your school to do the Choice Is Yours rally. And the reason why I felt like that was because as you, I'm like, man, you know what? I had everything going against me, literally everything, just like you, Nelson. There was nothing that happened to you, Nelson, growing up that would not be an excuse. Good. I mean, you all the things that happened to you, that's great ammunition for you to be a failure today.
Yeah, and you know what? You can spin it around though, and that's what I think I did was everyone expected me to fail. And I mean, no one gave me even a shot of failing. And but I looked at it the total opposite is, you know what? I have every reason to succeed. Because of where I came from and what I did. And we talked a little bit about grandparents, but my gram pretty much every day told me, Nelson, you're going to make something out of your life. And she said it so often. And I loved her so much that, you have that one person that just believes in you. And I didn't want to let her down.
Right.
And, I started to believe it because, she told it to me so often. And so if you can have that one person that believes in you, sometimes that's all it takes. And you know what? The one definitely one of the people that need to believe in you is you. And some people kind of raise their eyebrows, but you need to be your biggest hero. And I think that's not fashionable in the world that we live in today,
Mhm.
but you absolutely have to be your biggest hero. And because if you don't believe in yourself, it's going to be hard to find anybody else to believe in you. And if you don't believe in yourself, it's going to be hard to get through those tough times. And we're absolutely going to go through tough times no matter what we do.
You know, Nelson. uh the story, I mean, I've heard this, ladies and gentlemen, this is my second and a half time hearing this story, but it has so much dynamics, and so it takes on, it's like when you read the Bible, you hear something different every time you read it. Hearing the components of Nelson's life in each compartment, we started at the success, we started at the end, we started at the Nelson Tressler 2021 sharp looking executive that's got the power of, he's got the I Got Smarter app, and he's got all things going on, sold $1 billion in real estate, we're book author, on and on and on. But when we go back and we start looking, it's like, man, Nelson, yeah, so this is what you used to get you where you are today. See,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. And yeah. And I mean, I think that was one of the reasons I wanted to write the book as well, is because I think, a lot of people see out there, they see people who have been successful and they think it was either that overnight success or they think it was easy. And I mean, believe me, I pull back the curtain on my book. I mean, I talked about celebrating my 25th wedding anniversary with my wife. You know what? In my book, I talk about we were separated a couple times, and we were one or two choices away from, not being married anymore. And, I talk about the businesses that, I sold and give me the ability to be here with you. You know what? I was a week or 2 weeks away from not being able to save those businesses. And I want people to realize that it's hard, but the only way that you fail is when you stop. And that's why I developed I Got Smarter, the app. It just keeps you going. And it teaches you other things. Like, so many people want perfection. They want to do it perfect every day. And when they can't and when they don't, that's when they throw up their hands and they quit because they weren't perfect. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for progress. And as I said here, 20 years from graduating from college, it wasn't perfect. It was far from perfect, but I was always looking for perfection and looking for progress. And what it's done is I'm sitting here because of progress, not perfection. And that's what the mindset that people need to take is, it's going to be hard. I'm going to fall off. I'm not going to do it perfect every single day. But as long as I get back up and I continue on my journey of what I want to accomplish, as long as I don't stop, I'm eventually going to make it there. You might take a different route. It might take you a little bit longer, but as long as you don't stop, as long as you keep getting up, you're eventually going to get there.
If Donnie McClurkin wouldn't sue me, I'd play his song to close us out. We fall down, but we get up. And that, but I don't have the rights to play that one. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if this is done as much for you as it has for me, but this is why we have this show. We have Impacting Life 24/7, Monday night, Tuesday night, and Thursday night at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time to create a platform to bring people to your homes. You would have, we're blessed to hear a man's story such as this. Multi-million dollar businesses, successful man, but the vehicle by which he traveled to get there was an old jalopy, and but he didn't give up. And as we're coming, ladies and gentlemen, you can place your drink trays back, and the landing gear is down. As we're coming to a close of this first back of 2021 Impacting Life 24/7 episode, I just want to tell you, as I know my friend Nelson will echo, that you are just a few choices away from seeing some success. He didn't say absolute success. I caught that. He said, you're a few choices away to seeing some success. Nelson, I was getting ready to throw in the towel on the podcasting world, man. I really was. I said, because I was having so many problems, man. My internet was terrible, just stuff's falling over during the live. People aren't watching. I was just like, you know what? They pay me to speak. I ain't doing this DJ stuff. I'm done with it. And someone told me, they said, why would you give up if you hadn't done 100 episodes? And I said, okay, so do something 100 times, right? So I made it to my 100th episode, and I had Lon Jordan on, and we had a powerful 100th episode. And then from there, it's like the whole thing shifted, brother. The whole thing turned around. I mean, I've got more. Our show could be booked up for the rest of the year if we really wanted it to be, because of just the overwhelming outpouring of. But it was that one time I was thinking, man. I said, man, you know what? I ain't got time. I'm giving up my nights of the week. You know what I mean? This is a jankety old system, and I made it to episode 100 and began
Yeah.
to see like, oh man, it's easier now. It's not every day is easier, but it's a whole lot easier than when I started. What do you say, Nelson?
Yeah, I mean, it's that story. I mean, you didn't stop 3 feet short of, of your goal. You kept going, and it's about building up that momentum too. We're going to have those struggles, but you started this for a specific purpose. I
Right.
mean, you knew what you wanted to accomplish with that. As long as that doesn't change, you shouldn't stop. And we so look at the numbers, and we all get caught up in the numbers, whatever it is. I mean, I know we have to keep the lights on and we have to, do those things that to survive.
Right.
But, it's not always about the numbers. It's about your purpose. It's about what you're looking to accomplish. And people look at their followers or their listeners or whatever, and if it's not where they feel like it's supposed to be, then they throw their hands up. But I mean, you keep going, and eventually, just like that, you have that one episode, you have that one breakthrough. I mean, whether it's your health or your wealth or your marriage or your relationships or whatever, you'll get to that point as long as you keep going.
Awesome, man. Well, listen, I got this book and I want you to get it too. This is the book by my good friend Nelson Tressler. You can go to nelsontressler.com. This book is called The Unlucky Sperm Club. And we are not a victim of our circumstances, but a product of our choices. And now, ladies and gentlemen, before we go, I'm turning over my show to Nelson. He didn't know this. I didn't let him know I was going to do this because we only got 3 minutes and 54 seconds left. But I'm asking Nelson to speak to our audience directly, because there are a lot of people that are in the realm of contemplation, and they've heard your story, and they've heard how many things that you've accomplished, and they've heard all the struggles that you went through. I like for you, Nelson, to speak to America and the folks watching around the world listening on our podcast. I want you to speak some words of encouragement to them, and end our show with those words from Nelson Tressler. Nelson, the floor is yours.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I mean, I'm inspired, when I do these podcasts and I get fired up, and hopefully you have been as well. What I would suggest to you is start now. Don't wait. There's so many times that we want all the traffic lights to be green before we head on our journey. And we want everything to be perfect. It'll never be perfect. And we want to wait for some artificial date. We want to wait till, I'm going to start Monday. I'm going to start at the first of the month. I'm going to start New Year's. Don't wait for anything. Start now, because the reality is we don't have a knowledge problem when it comes to achieving our goals. We have an execution problem. We just don't do what we know we're supposed to do. And so we just have to move forward with that. And another thing that I would tell you is, just because of what you've done before or who you are now, that doesn't mean that's who you have to be. So if you're not in a situation that you want to be in, start making different choices. And, I totally believe that we are all exactly where we choose to be. For the most part, we choose to be where we're at. And if we don't like where we're at, all we have to do is start making different choices, and you will eventually get where you want to go. And, I hope that my story has inspired people to understand that, you know, there's some tough circumstances out there. And some of them are our fault. Some of them aren't, but you're not a victim of those circumstances, no matter how you got in them, but you are a product of your choices. And it's like getting a deck, it's like playing poker and you get a bad hand dealt to you. You know what? You get to discard those hands. And that's what you can do with your circumstances. And the way that you do that is by making different choices, and every choice that you make, we talked a little bit about changing your life. You can't change your entire life with one choice, but you absolutely can change the direction of your life with just one choice. And then all you have to do is continue on that path, knowing that you're going to fall down. All you have to do is get back up.
Awesome, man. You know, you felt your knees are probably scraped up from falling down a time or two, Nelson, but you never stopped and you never gave up. Listen, that's my friend, the founder of I Got Smarter, a goal achievement program, as well as an app associated with it. I want you guys to go flood his website at nelsontressler.com or reach out to him on social media. Man, he needs some more friends. Reach out to him and connect with him. He's giving away a free training this weekend. Is it this week that you said?
Yeah, this weekend, February 6th at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time.
Hey, listen, that's my birthday, February the 6th at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Y'all need to give me a birthday present and go check out Nelson Tressler's presentation on how to really get your life together for goals. It's free. You can't lose when something's given to you. He's giving you an opportunity to succeed. Also, I want you to go to nelsontressler.com and get this book. Get this book in your hand because there's more to it. I want you to read all the nuances. He pulls back so much more revelations about life and the struggles and the successes. It's called The Unlucky Sperm Club. You are not a victim of your circumstances, but a product of your choices. Listen, Nelson, it has been an absolute privilege to be back in the studios with you, my friend. And you made this return, this pilgrimage back to the studios all more worth it, man. It was such a great time.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on, CL. I really appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. So look, here's what's going to happen. I'll be sending you a link. You'll be coming back. That's just going to happen. And of course, we'll collaborate more. This is what this relationship truly is about on this show is collaboration. So let's continue to connect. Again, nelsontressler.com. Thank you so much for giving us your time, Nelson. We look forward to talking to you again real soon, my friend.
Thank you.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here live on Impacting Life 24/7 with your friend, CL King. I'm back. Oh, and what a way to come back. What a way to come back. You know, I'm just telling you, what a way to come. Y'all like the new merch? IL247. Listen, we'd love for you to become a sponsor. All you got to do is go to clkingspeaker.com to become a sponsor. We've got 3 sponsorship levels, $1, $5, and $15. $5 gets you an advertisement on this show. And we give you a free commercial in response to you helping us continue to push our mission forward. The $15 sponsorship helps us go into schools with our gear training and provide that for at-risk students. But, you know, all of this is because somewhere along the line, somebody believed in me. I remember that, what he said. Somebody's got to believe in you. Starts with you and then somebody else. Well, you know, Greg Smith, he believed in me. We sat down at Golden Corral one day and nobody else was there. There was no fanfare. I didn't even have the name CL King yet. I wasn't nowhere near as famous as I am now. And he said, man, if you want to do this, man, I believe in you. You can do it. And that's why you see him on our shows. And he's not even on the show. He's behind the scenes, making stuff happen, commenting, moderating. And every night that we have the show, the man is there. All on the weekend, our team is meeting with people and interviewing folks, pre-interviewing folks. Greg is there. He believed in me from the very first moment I said, I believe we can reach 1 million kids. I believe we can reach 1 million people, brother. And, you know, Mr. Tressler, he gave us some clear indications, man, that, man, start believing in yourself. I believe that I'm going to have a multi-million-dollar podcast because people are going to be sponsoring us for $1 from all across the world. I believe that, Greg. But nelsontressler.com, I want you to go there. I want you to check out his book, The Unlucky Sperm Club. We are not a victim of our circumstances, but a product of our choices. And so I'll be back here tomorrow night in the studios. I have actually one of our sponsors will be on the show. And so we're very, very excited about that. Michelle Perry, she's the founder of the Successful Diligence LLC organization and also the host of Successful Diligence podcast. And she's a best-selling author. Man, we're kicking off 2021 right, y'all. She's wrote the book, The Pebble in My Shoe. And I want you to connect with her even before the show at successfuldiligence.com or find her on Facebook. She's out there in Texas, Dallas, Texas. Michelle Perry will be right here in studios, in our virtual studios tomorrow night to talk about, man, owning it and capturing the power that's already within you. 2021, Greg, we're going to do it. Mike, we're going to do it. Danny, we're going to do it. Katrina, we're going to do it, man. I'm talking to my team. We are going to do it. And not for the sake of doing it, not so that we can heap a bunch of wealth on ourselves, though we wouldn't mind a little wealth, but so that we can continue to impact one life, one day at a time. That's what this hat stands for. Impacting life 24/7. We're just in the daily grind, impacting one life, one day at a time. I'm so looking forward to our gold sponsor, Michelle Perry, being on our show tomorrow. And I want you to go to her website again, successfuldiligence.com. We're looking forward to hearing from our gold sponsor, Michelle Perry. She's going to be on with us. It's cool when you get to interview your sponsors. That's awesome. She's an awesome lady. I've been on her show, and she's going to be on ours, and we're just connected in many, many different avenues and ventures. And the collaboration piece has really become a real thing this year, y'all. Pardon me for going so long on the tail end of the show, but the collaboration piece has just become a real thing. Like finding people that are not just about watching you on the sideline. Oh, that's good. Good luck with you. But people saying, man, I want to connect with you. Michelle sent me a message, just really touched my heart. She said, I want to find more ways to help you get where you want to be. Now this is somebody that's not just talking it. She putting her money where her mouth is as a sponsor of this program, and also saying, man, I will do whatever it takes. She's connected me with other shows, put me on with other venues up in Connecticut and other places around the country. That's collaboration. And that's what we're trying to do. We made this platform. I hope that Nelson gets 1,000 book sales from this show. I hope that he gets 10,000 sales from this show. But if he touches one life, if he touches one heart, if he touches one person, man, it was really all worth the effort tonight. There's hours that go into prepping for a show. There's hours post show. It doesn't just all happen, ladies and gentlemen. There's hundreds of dollars of expenses that get incurred putting a show together. And so people like Michelle Perry, she says, man, I see the need. I see what you guys are doing, and I want to sponsor. Thank you, Michelle, for being a gold sponsor of Impacting Life 24/7. We look forward to having you here tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. We're going to rock the house. If she don't hold me to the fire, because, man, when she interviewed me last time, she said, well, here's what you really, I was like, yes, ma'am. All right, guys. So listen, Monday night, Tuesday night, and Thursday night, right here, Impacting Life 24/7. Share, connect, go to our website, clkingspeaker.com. If you want to become a sponsor, if you want to connect, if you want to follow what we're doing, man, this train is going. Thank you, VP. We appreciate you, brother, for taking care of us. Thank you, Danny. I see you at the 500-yard line. Our team is amazing, man. They devote a lot of their free time to pacify me, because I message and call them all hours of the night. I don't even ask them what they're doing. I'm like, hey, I got this idea. Or I'll say, hey, fix this website. Or I'll say, hey, here's what we got. And they respond. Blessed to have people surrounding me like that, man. I'm blessed. All right, so tomorrow night, Michelle Perry right here live on Impacting Life 24/7 with your host, CL King. Hope everyone has a great night. We'll see you then.